Hi everybody, this is Agnes from Sediment, and today let's talk about long forgotten gem of Italian white wines, Soave. I am a person who will fight for my beliefs like crazy, and you will see that in some of my replies to your comments. But I'm also a person who, when finally convinced otherwise, will proudly confess how wrong I was. When this happens, I will start every story how wrong I used to be, and this is where my story with Soave begins. I was studying WSET diploma with a brilliant taster who later became my boss. We used to talk a lot about wine, and I actually learned a lot from him. One day he told me that he believed with Burgundy becoming increasingly expensive to a point where it is not reasonable to pay a certain price for a bottle of wine anymore, we should pay more attention to Soave. I laughed at his face quite literally. I argued about ageability, depth of flavors, and complexity. You see, until then I hadn't paid much attention to Soave, and I only associated it with light, refreshing, and at best, moderately good white wine. It was often made from overcropped Garganega wines, often blended with other grapes to gain volume, often from expanded Soave winemaking region, not its historical heart. So I laughed. But little did I know that there were producers such as Pieropan, Pra, and Inama who made absolutely beautiful wines worth seeking out. And they would cost you almost nothing, especially when compared to Burgundy whites. So this is my apology. I hear you Burgundy, but I raise you Soave Classico. Soave must be made from Garganega grape. While it is allowed to add other grapes, such as Chardonnay and Trebbiano di Soave, typically quality-oriented producers will make 100% Garganega Soave wines. Garganega is absolutely beautiful and ancient grape variety that should receive the same recognition as Sangiovese and Nebbiolo. And it definitely shouldn't have been trolled by me. The problem is that this is the grape that can produce very high yields, and in this regard it is quite reliable. If you visit the area close to the harvest time, you will see that some wines will hold bunches of around 3 kilograms each. Unfortunately, Garganega tends to lose its character if allowed overcropped. However, Garganega, when its yields are kept in check, can create absolutely mesmerizing and delicate white wines that can be aged both in oak and stainless steel. That can be drunk young and enjoyed after being cellared for 10 or more years. When young, it shows lovely yellow, ripe stone fruit characters, and it is often described as floral. As I mentioned before, more often you will find Garganega made into refreshing, dry white wines. However, it responds well to air drying, similarly as in the production of Amarone wines. Some producers will use this technique, called appassimento, in order to create more richer, fuller-bodied and highly concentrated wines. But through this technique, winemakers can also choose to make sweet wines labeled as Recioto di Soave. These wines are luscious, show honeyed florals, oftentimes oxidative hints of candied tangerines and notes of toasted almonds. When talking about value and quality, I truly want to highlight Soave Classico. The truth is, popularity of the name led it to its own demise. The area allowed to produce Soave was expanded in 1968, which ended up including areas on flatter lands with more fertile soils, thus encouraging its natural, highly productive trait and essentially losing its character and soul. Soave Classico is located in the Veneto region in northeastern part of Italy. Soave Classico lies between two villages, Soave itself and Monteforte di Alpone. It encompasses around 1,700 hectares, and wines here are planted on slopes that are often so steep that terracing vineyards is needed. The highest vineyards here reach over 300 meters above sea level. Most books will praise the nearly black volcanic soils, which are indeed an important terroir element for Soave. However, here you can also find white calcareous soils. The former is known to produce highly structured and concentrated wines, while latter is known to produce the most delicate and lightest styles of Soave. Now that I have praised Soave oh so generously, I finally have to come to senses and talk real life food. As you would expect, the lightest styles of Soave Classico will be great with fresh salads, greens, and different lighter dishes. I wouldn't mind to enjoy those lighter styles of Soave Classico with fresh oysters as well. More intensity in the wine will allow it to stand proudly next to a variety of seafood, including those richer and oilier freshwater fishes. Take the wines rich, opulent, and concentrated such as Pra Monte Grande and Piero Pan La Rocca, and I would proudly serve these wines with a roasted whole chicken or geese. In my opinion, Pra and Piero Pan are definitely reliable producers. You can choose any wine from their portfolio and be assured of the highest quality. Inama, Suavia, and Anselmi are other beautiful producers to seek out. It is also worth mentioning Caffelle, Carugate, Nardello, and Tamellini. Let me know in the comments what you think and share your experiences with Soave wines. Cheers! There's still some value left in Burgundy, and Chablis is definitely it. So check out my other video on Chablis wine region.